We start with news that shares in space-related companies are taking off after Elon Musk said that his SpaceX company was buying his artificial intelligence firm xAI, which also owns the social media platform X. Now, all this marks yet another coming together of the businesses owned by the world's richest man. In part, it is about building AI data centers in space. Now, in a statement, SpaceX described the move as the most ambitious vertically integrated innovation engine on and off of Earth, with AI, rockets, space-based internet, and more. Well, the deal values SpaceX at a cool $1 trillion. It makes it the most valuable private sector company ever. It also values xAI at $125 billion. That is the firm behind the Grok AI chatbot, and last year that bought the social media platform known as Twitter. Well, as if Elon Musk didn't have enough on his plate, French prosecutors have today raided X's offices in Paris over suspected offences, including unlawful data extraction and complicity in the possession of child pornography. X has yet to comment, but it's previously called it an attack on free speech. Well, let's talk to Ross Gerber, who's Chief Executive of Gerber, Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Ross, always good to have you here. And talk to me first of all about what this deal tells us. It's about money, isn't it?
It's about money, and it's the need for money, but also it's about combining the various conflicts of interest that Elon has and different ventures into one sort of big mess of companies. So, it makes sense for within Elon's world, but these are all different companies with different goals and different ideas that ultimately maybe work together.
And you call it a mess of companies, though, and that's the problem. You're bringing together some organisations that are in very different sectors, in very different fields of operation, with very different purposes. It's hard to see how they can align under one leadership, under one name.
Well, there's that issue, and you just brought up in the earlier piece about, for example, the conflicts that X is causing with child pornography or the use of AI in explicit imagery. Taking people's, images and making them, in inappropriate manners. So you mix that in with a company that's launching rockets, and you kind of say, like, I don't get it. xAI obviously needed a lot of money, and with SpaceX going public, that would have given them the resource they need. And so obviously xAI was out of, partners willing to give them large checks. So it is about supporting Elon's empire, and if you believe in this empire, it's going to be an investment. I do ultimately see SpaceX merging with Tesla and having one big public company. So I don't know if SpaceX will actually ever go public. I think there's a much higher likelihood it'll just merge with Tesla.
Yeah, you say that whether you believe in this project. Do you believe in it, Ross?
My whole basic premise in investing starts around, fundamentals with investing, but then it goes into investing with people who run companies. And, I've made a lot of money off Elon over the years, and somehow I've made money off this investment in Twitter, which is now SpaceX. And so whether I see or believe it doesn't matter, because I don't. It's that he sees a future that he's going to try to create, and I'm an investor. So I'm not betting against Elon, and I'd rather bet a little bit for him just in case he is successful, because if he is successful with all these projects, or even some of these projects, there's a huge potential upside. So it's the probably highest risk venture you could think of as a big cap stock. But when you compare it to other stocks I own, like, Apple or IBM, they're really not taking these kind of big swings at things. So I think it's part of a portfolio for somebody, but I certainly wouldn't be putting all my money into it.
Yeah, and that's sort of the issue, isn't it? He's got very lofty ambitions. He talks about it wanting to be about humanity's future. He's talked about wanting to put things like data centers for AI in space. I mean, they're all lofty, kind of grand ambitions, I suppose. And given that it's in such a different field, you almost can't look at his track record when it comes to things like cars. You can't really then extrapolate that to space. I mean, what are you basing this sort of confidence on? Is it just ambition?
Well, I've spent a lot of time around Tesla and Elon's organizations over the last 12 years that I've been an investor, and he builds incredible companies. I mean, once again, this is not about my personal opinions to him, because I actually have very negative opinions about him. But what it is, as an investor, I don't let that color the fact that I have negative opinions about many of the CEOs I invest in, to be honest. And so, the real question is Elon building incredible organizations that can really change the way things are in here on Earth? And the answer is yes. I mean, xAI is an incredible company, good or for bad. SpaceX is an incredible company, good or for bad. And same with Tesla. So, you know, as I said, you can take the amount of risk you want in your portfolio. This is probably not appropriate for a lot of people's portfolio,
Yeah.
but many people want to invest in the future, and whether they even believe in Elon or not, at least he's trying. And there are many companies, as I said, I can invest in the S&P 500. It's the most boring thing in the
Yeah.
world, and I make 10% a year, or I can give Elon a chance.
Ross, we will watch closely. It's going to be fascinating, this, isn't it? Really good to get your insight. Thank you, Ross Gerber there at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Now, it's something